Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I'm Jenna Stauffer. Later on in today's show, I'm going to be speaking with local dermatologist Michael Berman. Dr. Berman's going to give us some great skincare tips. I think you're going to enjoy them. But before all of that, I'm going to talk right now with the journalist of Tan Lines. Now, this is an award-winning column that gives us a hilarious look at Key West and the chaos of everyday life everywhere. Mandy, the author, has become a favorite of so many people down here. She seems to make the world a smaller place with her hilarious descriptions of the good, the bad, the beautiful, and the annoying. She also seems to capture the essence of Key West like no one else. Mandy, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Jenna. I'm thrilled to be here, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. I really appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome. Well, I mean it, and you have become such a favorite of so many people here, Mandy. And how long exactly have you lived in Key West?
I've been in Key West since 1998, so it's just around 14 years now. And I came down right after college, 2 months after graduating college, and took a job as a reporter with the Citizen. And then started writing the Tan Lines column about 3 years later. So the column started in 2001, but I'm still a reporter and a columnist at the Citizen.
Okay. Now, how did Tan Lines come about, though? When it started?
I was never a column writer. I was a reporter, and I had covered city commission meetings, county government, school boards. And then in the summer of 2001, a prior columnist had unexpectedly left, stopped writing unexpectedly, and there was sort of a shuffle and a panic at the Citizen to fill that space on Sunday. And I said, well, I sort of volunteered. I said, well, I'll give it a shot. I've never done it before, but let me try. And so I wrote one column in the summer of 2001, and people seemed to like it. So 11 years later, here I am. And
here you are, and 2 books later as well.
Yes, exactly.
I know you just recently published your second book, and this has your best columns from 2003 to 2012. So, Mandy, how in the world did you pick what columns you were going to
I know. I was probably, I think I did the math. I think I started out, my columns initially ran every other Sunday, and I was trading space with my good friend and photographer Rob O'Neill. He wrote a column. A current Sheriff's Office Deputy Tom Walker also switched spaces with me, and then eventually those two bailed out and made me write it every week. So I think there was a total of over 300 columns that I had to pick from, and I whittled it down to, I think there's nearly 60 in this new book. And it was great. My readers are fantastic. And when I wrote a column included in one of my columns that I was publishing this book, and I asked my readers to send me an email with any of their favorites or most memorable entries, they came through. They were fantastic. So they sent me Facebook messages and email messages saying, you have to include this one, and I remember this one from Fantasy Fest. Make sure you put that in. So it's been great. It's been really, I call it a group project because the readers helped me pick a title, choose a title, pick what columns go in it. It's been really fun.
Okay, great. Well, could you share with our viewers this morning a column?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. There's one that a lot of people liked, and somebody asked me if I have a favorite column, and I really don't, but I gauge it on which ones get the best response from readers, and which ones, if I have email messages in my inbox Monday morning, and this one was a good one. People really did seem to like this. It's called Great Minds Think Alike, and this was just from a few months ago, actually. I recently overheard a great bartender telling a customer that he had a master's degree in history. He winced guiltily, acknowledging that his parents may not have gotten their money's worth from the investment they hoped would lead to a law degree. But the engaging 30-something guy then spent the evening smiling, laughing, and representing all that is right with Key West. His story is not unique. Hundreds of people in this town have college transcripts and parchment degrees that to an outsider make them ridiculously overqualified for their current job or jobs. Accounting majors drive parasail boats, while people once bound for law school happily mix drinks or distribute pool towels at local resorts. Political science majors and Shakespeare scholars drive taxis, sail schooners, or sing the songs of summer at local watering holes. I love that, and it works. Why? Because they're all smiling. The vast majority of these so-called overqualified workers are genuinely happy to be an integral part of this fierce little speck of limestone that thrives at the blue-green intersection of the Atlantic Ocean and Gulf of Mexico. Quote, life's too short to shiver, one of my best friends says each night when customers in his taxi ask what brought him to Key West. Granted, his unmistakable Boston accent makes it sound more like life's too short to shiver, but we get the point. There's an equalizing force at work in Key West that supersedes the loftiest of degrees from the most elite universities. We came because we wanted to, not because we were expected to, and we stayed, not out of habit, but out of the sense of belonging we felt soon after we made our first friends. Just because many Key West residents have the education and credentials to climb corporate ladders or litigate other people's lives doesn't mean they have a desire to. And the most important lessons can't be taught in a college classroom. Look what we've all learned from this island and from each other. We've all developed a more accurate gaydar than anyone in any suburb, and we've learned that 2 moms or 2 dads are just as good at raising kids as heterosexual couples. We've learned to question our elected officials, and we do so every other Tuesday night at city commission meetings. We've also learned the consequences of not questioning them. We've learned we can't pump untreated sewage into the ocean if we expect to be able to swim at our beaches. We've learned how to get rid of mold in the aftermath of a flood, and we've learned how good our neighbors really are. We've learned what happens when an inflated real estate bubble suddenly pops, and we've learned to park in the shade in summertime months. These and so many other valuable lessons come from lives being lived on this limestone, and I value the education that continues every day. I also know I've never seen a lawyer with a smile as contagious as the one the bartender wore last week while mixing drinks after spending the day on the water with friends. Life was good for him. So were tips, by the way. His parents may not have gotten the expected return on their investment, but if all they wanted was for their son to be truly happy, then they're now worth a fortune because our smiles are priceless.
I love it, Mandy. That is great.
Thank you.
And it's so true. I mean, you really can hit on the island down here.
Thank you very much.
Good job.
Yeah, that was a sort of a feel-good one. Then there's been other rants, as you've read, with parking wars and issues and people, fantasy fest crowds and traffic, things like that. So it's fun. I really like to put into words what more people think, I think.
And now, do you ever run out of subjects to write about, Mandy?
Oh God, if you see me on a Friday night or a Saturday afternoon, you'll think I have, yes. But I can write about anything. I don't have any parameters. My editors are great. They say, give me free reign as long as I'm not, offending large groups of people or anything. Right. So, but that's almost what makes it harder, is to not have any sort of. Sometimes I wish somebody would tell me, say, you have to write about this, because then it would narrow it down. But so it's tough to come up with a topic. That's usually my weekly thing, and I wish I could write 3 or 4 in advance, 3 weeks in advance, and have a couple in the safe to pull from. But no, it's usually a panic-stricken Friday or Saturday trying to get it in.
Well, sometimes we all do better under pressure, though.
And that's exactly what it is. Yes, nothing would get done if it weren't for deadlines. That's for sure. Yeah.
Okay, now you have a book signing going on right now.
I do. Yes, coming up to Thursday. Tomorrow is tomorrow, right? Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Galleon Tiki Bar down there at the waterfront at 617 Front Street. I'll be there. Phil and Kelly Cook are great. They're the owners of the Tiki Bar, and they're putting out some sandwiches and doing drink specials. So I'll be there 6 to 9 tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday from 5 to 7 at the Bottle Cap Lounge. They always do a charity happy hour where the tips go to a different nonprofit organization every Friday. So this Friday happens to be for the Florida Keys Outreach Coalition for the Homeless. So a portion of my proceeds from the book signing will go to the Homeless Coalition.
Okay, wonderful. Well, hopefully everybody can make it out.
That'd be great.
To those events, and keep writing what you're writing, because you're doing such a great job,
Thank you so
Mandy.
much. Thanks for reading it, and I really appreciate it.
Okay, that's going to do it for us right now, but I'm going to be right back after these messages, everyone, so please stay with me.